Can you hear me, Tim? Can you hear me well? Because I have my AirPods in, but it's probably connected to my phone. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to show you all the results of, I got my laptop out. Sorry it's so dark. Let me try to fix this. But I just, I want to do it outside my home. I'm getting a little glare on my Facebook. Try to move this over. So I'm going to pull my laptop out. And let me readjust this on Facebook. Yeah, I might have to. Okay. I'm trying to position this on Facebook. So, all right, thanks, Tim. So you all can hear me. So I'll be readjusting this in a few minutes. Fix my shirt. Anyway, so my hair seems to be sticking up. I'm trying to fix that little piece sticking up. Listen, if you all follow Dean Cole on YouTube, I was just on his live on YouTube, so that was exciting. Dean Cole, he the master at credit, right, and credit dispute. So I will put his hashtag in this just in case if you all don't know. So let me make sure I'm adjusted. I don't do outside of my house a lot on my live, but I feel like sitting on my patio. So I'm going to pull up my disputes today. And I wanted to talk about also real quick what to do if you are sued by a collection agency, right? What to do if you are sued by a collection agency. So I have some steps and some, or a debt collector, I said that way. What to do if you are sued by a debt collector. Now, I have some results I want to show you these are emails that I received this morning. And so, without showing their names. So this is my first collections deleted. So it's, you see all of these are collections account. And then my second email, you all know that, I said that I'm not doing credit repair in Mississippi anymore. I'm going to show you IG, so just hold on. But I'm showing Facebook now. So Facebook, show some digital love. Show some digital love. That's the email I received about the deletion. This client from Mississippi actually was my first client. And when I first really made this local, and she started let me show IG the results as well. Let's see, that's the bankruptcy deletion, as you see in Jackson, Mississippi. She sent me that email, and this is the email results from another client of their collections account. So I got both of these emails in today. All of them deleted, right? And so, like I said, I told you all that I didn't want to do credit repair in Mississippi. Hello, Miss Ainsley. Hello. Because, people want to meet me, and, they say, well, I don't know how to do that type of payment or whatever. And it's too time consuming. And then I have some people, because I knew them or know of them from Mississippi, that I informed them that I would do some things for them to dispute some collections, right? And they didn't pay me, right? And so I said, well, in order to be at peace in my home state, when I go to church, or when I go grocery shopping, or I go to a sporting event, and I see people that owe me money, then hey, I can be at peace, and I'll just eliminate that, and I'll just service the other 49 states. But I'm so glad. This was my first client that got the bankruptcy deletion from she's the first one started with me from Mississippi, and she received notification today that her bankruptcy was deleted. Now, I will admit that it took some months with her. The reason why it took months to get that deleted was simply because there were a lot of accounts connected with the bankruptcy, meaning that I know it was at least 12 accounts that she had in connection or that was discharged in the bankruptcy. So a lot of people that I get results in as little as 30 days or 90 days, they may have 1 or 2 trade lines connected with that bankruptcy, making that process much more easier to do. So I want to discuss, I have some notes on what to do if you ever be sued by a debt collector, right? I have some notes or some tips, some things of what you can do if you're ever sued by a debt collector. Hello, Miss Bowles. How are you? Thank you so much for the hashtag Queen of Credit. Man, I watched the Queen of Hip Hop and R&B last night on BET. Mary J. Blige, Mary J. B. Right? She did her thing. And so, yeah, so what happens, and I'm going to share this video with someone. And also, if you all follow E. Dean Cole, make sure that you watch his recent live on YouTube. I was a call-in, and I got on E. Dean Cole. You know, he also teach credit and cash flow. And, you know, I just thank him for his information and knowledge and helping me in my in this business, right? Because honestly, I'm getting overwhelmed with clients, and that's a great thing for business, right? But I want to make sure that I'm still getting my results expeditiously, right? I'm still getting them in a quick manner, and I have, you know, when the Bible says that God will open up the floodgates and pour you out a blessing, you don't have room enough to receive. That is so true. And I will be taking a vacation like in the month of July away from it. And so, you know, if you want to get it in, this will be the week to send me your credit report, because the 1st of July, that first week, taking vacation off, right? And but I do want to get to the point that, yeah, it's time to expand. I do want to get to the point that my credit business is continually going when I'm not the physical person who's doing all the work. And but I'm not at the point yet where I'm going to teach my strategies or anything to anybody. I'm just going to get an automation system in place through software. So if you are, this is one of my common questions. If you are one of my clients that ask me oftentimes, have you received my credit report? Let me know if you're not getting that automated response, because I check my email all the time. And if you didn't watch the beginning of this video, watch the beginning, watch the replay, right, of where I showed the results on my screen. I might show it at the end too, of the deletions of the bankruptcy from my very first client from Mississippi and collection. So I just showed this today because these are the 2 emails results that I received today. And so what I'm going to do is get more software, software. I need to update my website. I do know that the website www.fixmycreditandcash.com. I need to update that because I have some technical issues where you cannot download your PDF, and I need to have a payment accepted on my website of www.fixmycreditandcash.com. I don't want students, Jonathan. I don't want students right now. I'm not teaching my strategies, right? It's so congested now where people don't know what's authentic credit repair. You know, they think I'm a part of an MLM, a network marketing company, and I'm not. This is my own business, my own intellectual knowledge. So I'm not teaching people how to do it because, Jonathan, that would take more of my time. It would take more of my time for me to teach someone what I know. Then it takes away from the clients that I currently have, that I don't have the time that I want to have to service them now. So what I was speaking of is that I'm going automation with more sufficient softwares and method in place. One of the things that people ask me as soon as they pay me the $25 small deposit to give them a consultation of their credit report, you know, I get 2 or 3 messages within every day saying, did you receive my credit report? Did you receive my payment? And I'm like, I have the automated email set up, you know. So if you are not receiving automated emails, Ms. Bowles, if you're still on, because you type a lot for me, When you put my email in, it's LD, like Latanya Deloach, at fixmycreditandcash.com. LD at fixmycreditandcash.com. So a lot of people send me, they pay the small deposit on my Cash App for $25 for a consultation. And then the same day, or the very next day, or the second day, they say, hey, did you receive my credit report? Did you see my Cash App, payment? And I'm like, yeah, if you email it to the right address, you should have received an automated response, right? That it will be 3 to 5 business days. And so I'm not sure what's going on with that. The second question that I get most from my clients, and then I'm going to go to what to do if you are sued from a collection agency. But the second letter that I get, question that I get, thank you so much, Ms. Bowles. That's correct. It's Fix My Credit and Cash, CASH.com, LD at fixmycreditandcash.com. And so the second question that I get, do you have payment options, right? Do you have payment options? Let me tell you all, everybody is concerned about scams these days, right? If I cannot allow people to pay me that I've seen their credit have a payment plan where I've seen on your credit report that you do not pay your accounts as agreed, right? If I see you have 10 collections, 10 charge-offs, and you then pay those creditors as an agreement, then why should I have something set up? I'm dealing with people every day who do not pay accounts as agreed, or they pay them late. That's usually what I'm looking at. So I will give you a payment option, which means you can pay half. That's it, Ms. Bowles. Thank you so much. LD at, thank you, forgot the at, fixmycreditandcash.com. Thank you so much. Thank you for the digital love on IG. Thank you for the digital love. Thank you, Ms. Brown. Thank you so much. So yeah, I would give you a payment option, right? If your services will be over the amount of, let's say, $700, that means you can pay half, and I'll get half to start maybe on one credit, like Experian. I usually start with Experian first because you can sign up with them online for free, right? But then if you don't pay your second portion, I will not do the work on TransUnion or Equifax. So those are my top 2 questions. Usually when people pay me the small deposit of $25 and they email me their credit report, they want to know, have you received my credit report? I'm not understanding why I get that question. You send it to the correct email address. Thank you, Ms. Bowles. Thank you, LD at fixmycreditandcash.com. It will have an automatic response informing you it's 3 to 5 business days, right, for me to respond to you. And then the second most question I get is, do I have a payment plan? I don't have a payment plan. I'm dealing with correct. Now, I have a very small percentage of clients that I get that pay their accounts as agreed. All they need is probably inquiry removal. They never had a late payment. They don't have a collection. They don't have a charge off. But 98% of my clients, that is not the case. So I'm not going to be the next person that's not getting their accounts paid as agreed. So let's go into this. What do you do? What do you do if you are being sued by a debt collector, right? Now, the very first thing you need to know about the law is that the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, that's FDCPA, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA, requires every debt collector, this is the law, requires every debt collector, right, to validate your debt. So what does validation mean in the eyes of the law? In the eyes, if you go to court, what is proper validation? Hey, Ms. Wilson, how are you? Ms. Wilson, I was showing them results of a bankruptcy removed from a client from Mississippi. I had said I was going to stop doing credit repair in Mississippi, but I got this email today, and my client moved up signed up with me some months ago. But so what do you need to know about debt collectors? Number one, they have to validate your debt, right? you have to know the law and you have to know the language, as E. Dean Cole says, right? One of my mentors that I watch on YouTube. You have to know the law and you have to know the language. Thank you for the digital love. And according to the law and the language, under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, they must validate your debt. Now, if they send you a bill from the original creditor of the amount of charges for payment, under the law, that is not validation. So this is what validation is. Validation is your signature agreeing to the services from the original creditor, your signature, wet ink, your wet ink signature, number one, on the original documentation from the original creditor, right? They must have proper validation. So if they send you an itemized printout of a bill, that is itemization. It is not validation by the court of law, right? So when you go to court, first of all, most debt collectors, they are notorious for filing dozens of cases, right, against people every day that they want to collect from, knowing that most of them won't show up for court. A no show up for court automatically turns into a default. That's number one. A no show up for court automatically turns into a default. So what do? And so that's why, number one, you must first, within your 30 days, because they'll have on the debt collection letter that this is an attempt. Listen to the language. This is an attempt to collect a debt from you. They tell you you have 30 days. Every letter you get in the mail, you have 30 days to ask for validation of this debt, right? So, let's say, let's give these scenarios if you're in court, right? Let's say that the attorney said, Your Honor, Mr. or Mrs. X open an account with X company on this date. Your answer would be, objection, Your Honor, right? These are my notes that I have down. Objection, Your Honor. Was the attorney personally present when the alleged account was open on X date, right? You would say, objection, Your Honor. Was the attorney personally present on the alleged date or the alleged account when the alleged account was open on this date? That's one of the questions of how to deal with debt collectors in court. First of all, you show up for court. Now, the only time that you will get a summons, a subpoena to appear in court is when you don't initially respond to the debt collection letter. The initial debt collection letter would say, this is an attempt to collect the debt from you. You have 30 days to validate. Now, I explained earlier the difference between validation and itemization, right? So once they don't validate the debt, once they only itemize the debt, and they still subpoena you to court, if these are some questions that may happen or that may answer. So you say, was the attorney personally present when the alleged account, right, was open on X date? How does he or she have firsthand knowledge? Listen to my language. Now, you have to know the language and you have to have the law. How does he or she has firsthand knowledge? If they don't, then this is hearsay. So what is firsthand knowledge according to the law? Again, it's your original wet signature with the original contract with the original creditor, right? So let's say that the attorney, right, presents a document to the court saying, and they ask, is this your signature? If they do produce your signature, 9 times out of 10, they don't even have your signature, right? And you can go to court and say, Your Honor, they did not, per my written request, validate this debt. They only sent me an itemized printout of a bill. And itemization and validation are different, and it does not stand in the court of law, right? An itemization printout of the bill does not stand in a court of law. Again, most time, debt collectors only subpoena you or summons you to court because you don't ask for proper validation in the beginning process, right? And so let's say, for example, the attorney presents to court a document said, is this your signature? Your answer to this would be, let the record show I am looking at what appears to be a white paper with what appears to be some sort of photocopy on it. Based on the way you ask, and if I understand you correctly, I would have to say no. Okay, so let's go over that again. If they do come up with a signature in court, right, and they say, is this your signature? Your answer to this will let the record show at what appears to be a white paper and appears to be some sort of photocopy on it. Based on the way you ask the question, and if you understand correctly, I would have to say no. I have never seen this piece of paper, right, or photocopy before, so I cannot determine absolutely certainly whether or not the document is authentic or if it's my signature. So you say, I've never seen this document before. Thank you for the digital love. I've seen something what appears to be a photocopy of a signature on it, but I cannot with absolute certainty determine whether or not that this document is authentic or is that if it's my signature. See, what you all have to understand, you have to know the law. You have to know the language of the law. And it's not like it's some type of, well, a 50-50 chance. It might work, it might not work. Listen, either debt collectors are going to validate that debt or they have no right to collect from you. But what you don't know and what I know is the law that states they must validate it. See, you have rights, just like you have rights in society with certain laws that must be established, right? That must be taken into account. If someone runs a stop sign by law, that is illegal, right? And so they have the right to be fined, right, for illegal driving, illicit driving. Just like debt collectors, you can sue debt collectors. You can take them to court. It's not just they can take you to court. You can take debt collectors to court because they can harass you and call you and at your place of employment or services, and they have failed to honor your request to validate a debt. Again, a printout of a bill is only itemization. The law, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act state that they must validate. And validation is when you know the law. So it's not a 50-50 chance. Will this work? Will this come back on me? If I dispute it, if I pay you to challenge it, it will never come back because the law was never executed. Why do they get into the debt collection practices services knowing that they don't have the legal rights to collect from you? Because 9 out of 10 people don't know this, right? And so did you also know, right, that if you do go to court, a debt collector must produce the evidence, or before you go to court, prevent you from going to court, they must produce the evidence of exactly how much they paid on the debt, how much they purchased the debt for, not how much the original company or business charged you for their services. They have to produce how much they purchased the debt for, which 9 times out of 10 they purchased it for pennies on the dollar, right? And then they have to produce a contract of services between you and the original creditor, and they cannot do that by a printout of a bill. And usually when they buy debt, that's all they buy is the debt. And sometimes they have a printout of a bill, but under the law and by your laws, that is not validation. So hey, I'm signing off. I have some more credit things to do. But again, this is, I'm gonna show my Facebook first. This is my collections email that were deleted today. And this is my client from my home state of Mississippi, Bankruptcy, that was deleted today. I wish I could show you all my grass. I have my St. Augustine is looking so beautiful. And so that's it. You all make sure you hit like and share. If you watch this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in.